You move through life carrying an invisible weight. Each step feels heavier, each challenge more grueling, while others seem to move forward with ease. Smiling as they coast through victories and fleeting connections, your journey feels like a constant trial. You're tested by hardship, betrayed by those you trusted, and pushed to emotional and spiritual limits you didn't know you had. And in the quiet moments, you ask yourself, why is my path so difficult? Why does success feel like a distant horizon? Why is trust such a rare currency? But what you must understand is this: your struggles are not a punishment. They are preparation, a quiet, divine refining, because you are not being groomed for an average life, and you are certainly not an ordinary man. Sigma males are wired differently. They are crafted to lead from the shadows, to carry weight without praise, and to walk alone without losing direction. They are designed to be unshakable in a world that constantly shifts. And for that level of resilience, there are no easy routes. There are no shortcuts through the fire. The pain you've endured, it's pressure that strengthens. The betrayals you survived, they teach you how to read people with piercing clarity. The silence that surrounds your efforts, that is the furnace where your patience and character are forged. You are not being broken, you are being built. Carefully, deliberately. Every hardship you face is shaping the man you are meant to become. This is why your journey feels lonelier, your climb steeper, your progress slower. Because what's being prepared within you cannot be rushed. Fragile men are never entrusted with true power. But you are being raised to carry more, lead deeper, and stand taller. When the world finally realizes the strength you've silently become. 1. Elevation without depth is fragile. There is a dangerous illusion in the modern world. The belief that success must come fast to be meaningful. Many people chase elevation as if life is a sprint. They crave the status, the income, the applause. They want it all now. But a Sigma male's rise is different. God doesn't rush his path. And there's a reason for that. Because elevation without depth is a setup for collapse. When a man ascends too quickly without being anchored, even the slightest storm can topple him. Success that isn't supported by inner strength is nothing more than a tall structure built on sand. Impressive from a distance, but dangerously unstable. A Sigma man is not crafted for shallow victories. He is engineered for long-term endurance. And that kind of endurance isn't born in ease. It's formed under intense pressure. Before God grants him influence or a platform, he ensures there is depth. Because the higher the calling, the deeper the foundation must be. That depth building often comes disguised in painful forms. It shows up as isolation, when everyone seems to fade away, and you're forced to learn the strength of standing alone. It feels like betrayal when those you once trusted reveal their true nature, teaching you painful discernment. It echoes in silence when no one affirms you, and you must learn to hear and trust your own voice. But these trials are not punishments. They are sacred preparation. While others may rise faster, your path is slower for a reason. It's not because you're behind. It's because you are being built differently. God is developing in you something that cannot be shaken. Depth over display, strength over speed, substance over show. This preparation strips away the very things that would sabotage you later. Pride, so that success doesn't inflate your ego to the point of self-destruction. Weakness, so you're not crushed the moment life gets hard. Ego, so you remain grounded even when you're elevated. Because make no mistake, storms will come. Challenges will rise the moment your platform does. And when that day comes, you won't have the luxury of learning how to stand. You'll already need to be standing strong. So the next time you feel like doors are taking too long to open or blessings are being withheld, remind yourself, God is not denying you. He's preparing you to carry what others would drop. And that kind of preparation takes time, pressure, and patience. 2, you are meant to heal generational wounds. Some men are born into peace, into families where love was steady, where emotions were nurtured, where life followed a quiet rhythm of stability. But the Sigma male is rarely granted such simplicity. Instead, he is often born into a bloodline cracked by the weight of generational pain, a lineage stained with the remnants of unresolved trauma, emotional neglect, suppressed anger, and dysfunction so embedded it masquerades as normal. These aren't just random challenges. They are inherited wounds passed down like a silent inheritance. And while others in the family may ignore them, numb them, or unknowingly repeat them, the Sigma male is different. He feels them deeply. He carries the tension of every broken bond, every unspoken word, every pattern that keeps looping through generations like a curse dressed in routine. But God doesn't allow this man to carry such a burden out of cruelty. He allows it out of calling. You are not being punished. You are being awakened to a purpose far greater than survival. Your assignment isn't simply rise above your past. It's to end it, to be the man who draws a line in the sand and says, "It stops with me." That's why your path feels heavier, because you're carrying more than your own story. You're carrying the unhealed stories of those who came before you. You're wrestling with demons you didn't summon, but were born to slay. And yes, healing takes longer for you. Trust is harder to give. The journey is messier, more complex. Nothing feels simple, but that's because God isn't just refining you. He's rebuilding an entire foundation through you. One day, when you rise, and you will rise, your sons will not have to spend their adulthood recovering from the wounds you refuse to pass down. Your daughters will grow up never doubting their worth because their father carried quiet strength and spoke love with conviction. Your future family won't be raised in emotional survival mode. They'll be rooted in security, identity, and purpose. You are not just chosen, you are called. And yes, it's heavy, but that weight, that's the evidence of your assignment. It's not meant to break you. It's meant to forge you into the man your entire bloodline has been waiting for. 3. Influence can corrupt the untested ego. Let's face it, power changes people. It doesn't always happen all at once, but slowly, silently, power begins to test the core of who someone really is. For most, influence is a goal. For Sigma males, influence is almost inevitable. Their quiet strength, their grounded energy, their sheer presence draws attention, even when they don't seek it. But therein lies a hidden danger. When influence arrives before the ego has been tested, it can become a weapon instead of a tool. This is why God doesn't hand influence to the Sigma male on a silver platter. He delays recognition, not to deny it, but to refine the man first. He removes applause, not as punishment, but as protection. He keeps him in the shadows, not because he's unworthy, but because his heart still is growing to do. Before a Sigma male can be trusted to lead, his ego must be humbled. The desire to be seen, praised, or admired must be burned off in the fires of solitude and silence. Not because he isn't capable, but because unchecked power can easily turn to control, and unhealed wounds can masquerade as confidence, when in reality, they're pride dressed in charisma. This is why God gives a Sigma male a test unlike most men, the test of silence. He is asked, can you still walk in purpose when no one is watching? Can you still speak truth even when no one claps? Can you carry burdens that others can't see and never ask for credit? A Sigma's voice has the potential to shift atmospheres. His silence can make others reflect, pause, even change direction. But that kind of influence is dangerous in the hands of someone who still needs validation. That's why God waits, not for his talent to grow, but for his ego to shrink. Because when a Sigma male no longer speaks to be heard, but only when it's necessary, when he no longer seeks the spotlight, but serves even when unseen, when he no longer performs for applause, but lives for purpose. For you will be targeted, not just seen. Elevation is a powerful thing, but it comes with a price most people don't talk about. The moment a Sigma male begins to rise, his life changes, not just in how he moves, but in how others see him. He doesn't ask for attention. He doesn't chase applause. But his very presence, his confidence, independence, and quiet strength becomes a threat to those who built their lives around external validation. That's why when a Sigma man ascends, he doesn't just become visible, he becomes a target. God understands this. That's why he never rushes a Sigma male's elevation. Because what awaits at the top isn't just admiration or opportunity. It's opposition. It's the jealousy in the eyes of peers. It's betrayal from the very people who once cheered for you, who called you brother, who claimed to support your rise. It's the fake smiles that hide sharpened intentions, the ones who shake your hand while plotting your fall. So before the spotlight ever touches you, God trains you in the shadows. He allows you to feel the sting of betrayal early, so you'll recognize it later when it's masked as loyalty. He lets you walk through the heat of envy, so you learn to rise above comparison. He exposes you to fake love, so you can eventually discern what's real, not to turn your heart cold, not to make you cynical, but to prepare you to stand firm without becoming bitter, to lead without becoming guarded, and to keep your soul intact in a world that wants to fracture it. Because here's the unspoken truth. Elevation doesn't just attract praise, it attracts attacks. When you become the standard, you also become the threat. People won't just admire your strength, they'll try to test it. Not everyone will celebrate your rise. Some will only wait for your fall. But God knows this. That's why the process takes longer. He's not just building your platform, He's building your foundation. So when arrows come, and they will, you won't be shaken. You won't retaliate with bitterness. You won't crumble under the weight of betrayal. You'll stand, strong, unmoved, ready, because you weren't just elevated to be seen. You were elevated to be attacked and to survive. 5. You are here to break cycles others couldn't. There's a reason your path feels heavier, a reason why life often feels like an uphill battle. And no, it's not because you're weak or cursed. It's because you were chosen for something bigger than comfort. You were born to break cycles that others in your bloodline were too wounded, too weary, or too unaware to challenge. God doesn't send pain at random. Your struggles aren't accidental. They're surgical. Every heartbreak, every setback, every painful lesson is targeted with precision because He's using you to face the very demons your father, your grandfather, and the men before them could never defeat. They numb themselves to survive. You feel everything. They accepted dysfunction as normal. You question everything. They pass down wounds. You refuse to pass them on. You aren't here to be a continuation of the same story. You're here to rewrite it. That's why your pressure is different. Your burden is unique. You're not just enduring pain. You're shouldering the weight of generations of unhealed trauma. God sees that, and rather than spare you from it, He equips you to overcome it because He knows you're the one who won't fold under fire. You'll rise through it. Your pain isn't weakness. It's legacy work. It's the fire that forges something eternal. A new standard for your family name. When you heal, your sons won't inherit silence. When you rise, your daughters won't have to question their worth. When you break through, your entire bloodline gets a new beginning. You are not just the strongest of them. You are the chosen. So yes, it hurts more. It costs more. But the reward? It's generational. It's freedom. It's purpose. Don't you dare back down. Because what crushed them will end with you, and a new legacy will begin because of you. Final words. You are being forged, not forgotten. There comes a point on every Sigma male's journey where the silence becomes deafening. The weight feels unbearable, and the isolation makes you question everything. Your purpose, your strength, even your worth. In those moments, it's easy to believe you've been overlooked, that your prayers have hit the ceiling, that God has forgotten you. But the truth is far deeper and far more powerful. You are not being forgotten. You're being forged. God doesn't test those who are weak. He doesn't apply pressure to men who were never meant to carry responsibility. He tests those He intends to trust with weight. And if your path has been heavier than most, if the road has been lonelier, the climb steeper, the nights quieter, it's not because you're unworthy. It's because you are being prepared for what others simply couldn't handle. You are being shaped to carry influence that won't corrupt you, truth that won't bend under pressure, and a legacy that breaks generational chains. You are being molded into the kind of man who can stand alone, who doesn't flinch under scrutiny, and who walks with quiet power. But that kind of man is not made in the spotlight. He is forged in fire. So when life feels still and heaven seems silent, don't mistake it for abandonment. It's refinement. Don't curse the quiet. It's in the silence that you learn to hear your own voice. Don't rush the process. The weight you're being prepared to carry is sacred. Hold the line. Stay the course. Because when the time comes, when your season arrives, your life will speak louder than any words ever could. You won't need to prove yourself. You won't need to demand recognition. Your presence will say everything. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're not invisible. You're invaluable. And you're not forgotten. You're being forged into a man the world desperately needs, but doesn't yet know how to recognize. Hold on, your time is coming. Do these ideas resonate with you? If you found yourself nodding along or reflecting deeply on the traits and experiences we explored in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Sigma male mindset isn't often talked about openly, and your perspective, whether you identify with it personally or have encountered it in others, adds valuable depth to the conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know, which part hit home the most for you? Have you seen these traits in yourself or someone you know? Your insights help build a community where authenticity and growth are prioritized over popularity and performance. If you're drawn to this kind of introspective, no-nonsense content around Sigma males, psychological strength, emotional intelligence, and high-value living, there's more waiting for you. Explore the other videos on this channel for deeper dives, actionable insights, and raw truths that cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay unapologetically real. Until next time.